Good afternoon, kids. Welcome to your week one review. We'll jump right into it with our first game, what was touted to be our game of the week. Didn't turn out to be so. We had Sokol taking on TJ. TJ gets the win in this one by about 27 points or so. He was led by his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, last night actually. He put up about 27 points, but he had this one kind of in hand from the start. Sokol had nice quarterback play as well, but he only had 3 players in double digits, and you're not going to get a win that way. Next up, we had Jensen taking on McAllen. This one had a little bit of controversy coming into it, as you all remember from last week. Jensen went with Tyrod Taylor and Sean Hill at quarterback. They totaled 15.7 points, so that hurts. He did get a great production out of Spencer Ware with 32 points, but he still lost McAllen by about 60. McAllen had Drew Brees kind of lead to the promised land along with Antonio Brown, putting up 42 and 31 points respectively. Our next matchup was yours truly, the Commish, taking on Cole. This one also another blowout. Cole beat me by about 33. He was led by Derek Carr and Larry Fitz. And on my side, my quarterbacks Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott really struggled, total about 23 points. My only real contributor was Matt Forte, gave me 18. Cole's name is still a 14-year-old version, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen since Forte is on my team. Our next game up is McGrath taking on Jack. Jack won this one very handily, obviously, putting up 190 points to McGrath's 118. He was led by Matt Ryan, D'Angelo Williams, and CJ Anderson, each putting up 31, 35, and 27 points. So a lot of good production from his running game. On McGrath's side, not great. Quarterbacks Carson Palmer, Brock Osweiler each put up about 20 and change. That's really the only major production that he had. On to our next game was Coyle taking on Troy. Coyle put up 222 points in the victory. Pat didn't do so bad, put up 173, which would have beaten nearly anybody else in the league. But on Coyle's side, I mean, he had 5 people over 20 points, which is going to get you the win pretty much every time. Troy on the other side, Theo Riddick played pretty well, as did the Vikings defense. I don't know if those two things will be able to sustain for the year, so we'll see if he makes any changes going forward. Finally, in our last game, we had Ryan taking on Walt. No shock here, Ryan won by about 27 points. He was led by Matt Stafford, who put up 35. On Walt's side, not terrible in terms of some players, some not so much. His worst player was Adrian Peterson, probably, who only put up 3.1. I don't think that'll last. I think he'll bounce back. Walt should be okay as long as Kirk Cousins doesn't screw him again on Monday night. All right, moving on to our weekly accolades. First one we have is our most valuable player. We go to Coyle's Andrew Luck. Luck finished the game with 46.5 points. Very impressive day for Andrew. Needed it on a bounce back year from last year. On a bounce back game from last year, I should say. Excuse me. He finished 31 of 47 for 385 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also had 21 yards on the ground, which he's going to get you pretty much every week. So nice job, Andrew. Next up, we have our sweet and sour plays of the week. This one's going to come from Sokol and TJ. Johnny Sokol had quarterback Jameis Winston going for him. Jameis finished 23 of 33 for 281 yards and 4 touchdowns in a big win over the Falcons. Unfortunately for Sokol, TJ had his favorite target, Mike Evans, who finished with 5 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown. Really helped TJ get the win. Doofus of the week this week is going to go to McGrath. He had wide receiver Willie Snead catch all 9 of his targets for 172 yards and a touchdown, even though the Saints lost to the Raiders. Unfortunately for McGrath, Snead was on his bench, putting up 28.7 points. Wouldn't have been enough to help him get over the top of Jack, but still would have been nice to have. Our double dip of the week this week will go to Patrick, who had quarterback Andy Dalton go 23 of 30 for 366 yards and a touchdown, and a big win over his own New York Jets. He also had Cincinnati Bengal wide receiver A.J. Green, who caught 12 of those passes for 180 yards and a touchdown. So about half his yards and a touchdown, and his only touchdown went to pass receiver. That's a nice double dip there. Unfortunately, again, it wasn't enough to put him over the top, but the points will definitely help him in the long run. All right, folks, let's get to this week's power rankings. Number one is going to have to go to Mr. Connor Coyle, put up 222 points and a very nice victory. Next up, we'll see Jack, and Mike Coop is Brown. Nice win, 190 points, the only win in the Brook Wild division. And then down to the bottom, you see your commissioners in last, barely crossed the century mark. Something's got to change. And no surprise here, but in 11th, you'll see Walt, 107 points. I would say expect to be there often. All right, folks, that's all we got for this week. Be on the lookout on Thursday for your week 2 preview. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, let me know. If you want me to stop doing videos and just keep doing write-ups like we used to do, let me know that also. Or you guys can just not be lazy and bring headphones to the shitter with you. Other than that, get your waiver wires in. Remember, if you waiver wire is completed, so if you select somebody and they get put on your team, you move to the back of the line, so don't go wasting them willy-nilly. Other than that, that's all for now.